spokesperson for the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs responding this morning, calling it an unacceptable and irresponsible action. China raised eyebrows over the weekend, saying that they retain the right to respond further.
There you have it, folks. China is not happy. They are not happy with Joe Biden at all. Why? Because Joe Biden shot down a spy balloon from China after 5 days of cruising across America, sucking up all the information that they could. And China is not happy about it. And Joe Biden is in the crosshairs of the American people. But we're going to go ahead and get into that. But first, I want to apologize because it's been a few days since I've uploaded a video. I'm usually a little bit better than that, but Friday was my daughter's birthday. She just turned 16 years old. She is growing up. We had a party for her on Saturday. We spent the day with her on Friday. I want to thank everybody who came to her birthday party. It was great to have everybody there, and I want to wish my daughter a very, 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 very happy 16th birthday. I love you, baby. And the next 16 years are going to be even better. So put your seatbelt on. It's going to be a fun ride. Now, let's go ahead and get into this. Now, as you guys all know, China, they found around Montana is where they actually saw it. In Montana, they found that there was a spy balloon that was heading over our military bases, our missile silos, sucking up all this information, and Joe Biden decided that he was going to go ahead and allow it to continue. First, he said, "Oh, okay, well, you know what? We're not going to do anything about it. We're just going to let it go. It's not really a threat to us." And then after that, he just said, "You know what? Well, we're working on it. My military told me that it's not advisable to shoot the thing down. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense to me why you wouldn't shoot it down." But then he came back and said, "Oh, well, I've informed the military to shoot it down when it goes over water." Over water. How much water did it go over before it hit the United States, Joe Biden? I want to know that. I want to know that. Why didn't you shoot it down then? Then we find out that there is another one that's coming up through Mexico, South America, and it's heading this way also. And then I heard on another media report, I'm not sure if it was Epoch Times or one of these other outlets, that there is a third balloon. That there is a third balloon traveling around the U.S. right now, and the military is not going to let us know where it's at, and they're going to let it do its thing. But they did shoot down that one. After it did its job, after it sucked up all the information it possibly could, Joe Biden decided it was okay to shoot it down. Now, the only reason that he shot that thing down, in my opinion, is because he was getting some heat from the American people. We were not supposed to see that. We were not supposed to see that. But I think all of this makes things a little bit more clear to people who haven't been paying attention that we're at war. We are in the midst of our third world war right now. And the problem is that the USA is not fighting, but China is. Why is that? Let's let Steve Bannon explain to us what's going on right now with our imminent third world war.
I've said this. The third world war has started. I have said this now for years. It's unrestricted warfare, and they're after us. The Chinese Communist Party considered the American citizens an existential threat to the dictatorial regime, and they've bribed half the people in this city, and on Wall Street, and in Silicon Valley, and in the global corporations.
Yeah, he nailed it. That you are looking at a United States that has been taken over by China in every aspect, from our federal government to Hollywood, to the music industry, big business, our military. Where in the hell is our military? If we cannot depend on our federal government to come in and look out for the sovereignty of the United States and the American people, then our military is supposed to step in. Where are they? Where are they? We know that Joe Biden has been paid off very nicely from China. How do we know that? Because Hunter Biden got a major payday from China. And let's not forget about that nice big ass diamond that he was gifted from China. Let's not forget about that. If we cannot depend on our military, where does that leave the American people? Are we just supposed to all line up throughout the United States and bend over so that we can take it from China? What is going on here? What is going on here? What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to think? How are we supposed to act? Why is our federal government not doing a damn thing about this? He allowed that balloon to travel over the United States for 5 days. I can't say that enough. 5 days. He knew what the hell they were doing. He said they blocked him. I don't believe that for one instant. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. I think that he was paying off his debt to China. That's what I believe. I believe he allowed this to happen. And General Milley, I don't believe a damn thing that guy says. He's the same guy. This is the same guy that told China when Trump was in office that if Donald Trump was to attack China, Milley would let him know. That's treason. Why is he still there? Why has nobody in the military stood up and said, you know what, Milley, you've had a long term with us, but you gotta go. Sorry, you've been court-martialed. But nothing. A lot of us in this truth movement, we were led to believe, or we led ourselves to believe that the military would step in at some point, right? But where is that happening? What is going to happen? Are they going to wait for the attack on the United States from China? Because that's going to happen at some point. I'm not saying it's going to be, a ballistic war, but a nicely placed EMP somewhere throughout the United States, 5, 10, 15 of them flying in a balloon. Nobody's doing anything. This is not a big deal. Our military comes out, hey, look, if you guys want to find out anything more about the balloon, just look up. What the hell is going on? At some point, we have to ask ourselves, is this government with us or against us? With actions like this, I'm not even sure that we're going to be able to make it to 2024. Because a couple of things. Do you honestly believe that China is going to allow Trump to become president if they have the control of the White House now? No. They will not allow Trump to become president. You will get more of what you got in earlier elections. I'm not going to go into that right now. But if you're not happy with the elections, you're going to get more of it. They will not allow Trump to become president if things are continuing like this. And at some point, we have to ask ourselves, when is it going to hit home? When are we going to realize that we are at war? And our president, Joe Biden, does not have our back. Listen to what Steve Bannon has to say next.
Politics today's divided, simple divide. Patriots and traitors. Patriots and traitors. These people are traitors, and they've sold this nation out. And here's how, how I can prove it? Very simple. We're going to take it from the 28th of January. Did they notify him that Saturday the 28th when it came across the Aleutian Islands? No, they did not. Did they tell anybody on Sunday the 29th as it was coming across Alaska? No, they did not. Did they tell anybody on the 30th on Monday? No, they did not. Did they tell anybody on Tuesday the 31st? No, they did not. So for 4 days, they hid it, okay? On the 1st, it was outed. This is when the Billings thing got rolling. They had the conference call. Then all of a sudden they had a problem, and they still try to suppress it, as Tom Cotton said. Just get Blinken. They come and brief on Thursday afternoon at the White House. Let's get testimony from the Financial Times writer. On Thursday afternoon at the White House and State Department, they're briefing him. Hey, it's all gonna, we got a thing. We're going to break the ice. We're going to hug each other because bad Trump and bad Navarro and bad Bannon and all these guys, Pompeo, that were causing a problem with us, they're gone, and now we're going to have the first rub up. We're going to come and rub it up, right? Going to rub it up. And they wanted to get on the plane. That timeline right there, what did they know and when did they know it? What did they know and when did they know? Don't give me any spin. I want to go boom right to the signal. Tell me exactly who knew it, and did they even inform the Pentagon?
Yeah, there were many times when Joe Biden could have informed the public of what was going on. There was also many times when he could have actually shot this thing down. They said it was too dangerous to shoot it down over Montana. Has anybody ever been to Montana? I mean, it's not like a sprawling New York. I mean, they do have some big cities, but there's plenty of land over there where they could have shot this thing down at any time, and they didn't. They didn't. So why? Why didn't they? They could have shot it down over the ocean before it hit Alaska, 12 miles off. They could have shot it down over land, and that would have probably been the best place to do it. They could have shot it down over land. That way, we could have recovered some of this information that this balloon was holding. What was their payload? Were they sending? Were they receiving and sending information back to China? Was there a payload on there that we needed to know about? Is that why they couldn't shoot it down over land? Because there was a payload that could have been destructive to the United States? Possibly. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but in 2018, China's already tested using a balloon as a delivery system for missiles. Yeah, it just came out on Epoch Times this morning. Amazing. So our federal government and our military knew that they successfully tested this type of technology, and they still allowed that balloon to go across the United States for 5 days. I'm speechless. I don't know how to respond to this besides anger. I apologize if it sounds like I'm losing my shit over here, because I kind of am. If there has ever been a time where we all realized that our government wasn't working for us, this was it. If this didn't clear it up for you, there's no hope for you. If you're sitting over there in your recliner, eating your TV dinner and saying, yep, Joe Biden did the right thing, you're a traitor. You're not a patriot. And anybody who says that, oh, well, you know what, it was just harmless, you're just not paying attention. China has stated themselves in their own words that their main goal is to knock the United States off of its pedestal so that China could become the superpower of the world. And they will do whatever it takes to make that happen. They're not hiding it. They're not hiding it at all. But our government is just going to go on and act like business as usual. Here, how can we help you grow, China? Can we give you some information, maybe some top secret information? Come over to our think tank and I'll make sure that you get all the information that you need. You just leave the check at the front. What is going on? When is our federal government going to start looking out for the American people and our sovereignty? Look at our southern border right now. This is all planned. This is a George Soros plan to take the United States down and prop up China. And we will be the losers. Their goal is to make us a third world country. And if you don't believe that, you're just not living in reality. You've got to step out of your bubble and look at what's going on. But the Democrats didn't waste any time with their whataboutism. They always accuse our side, the right side, whataboutism. All they talk about is whataboutism. And then as soon as this comes out, as soon as everybody realizes that there's a China balloon floating across the United States, the first thing that they say is, it happened under Donald Trump too. Well, it's funny because nobody knew about that under Donald Trump. But yet they have this information. Why didn't the military give that information to Donald Trump? Because I'm sure he would have shot that down before it hit the United States. But they come out here and they start talking about, it's okay because it happened under Trump too. It's not okay. I don't think it happened underneath Donald Trump. they've all come out and said, even people that don't like Trump that worked in his administration have come out and said it didn't happen. But even if it did happen, does that make it okay? No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't make it okay. Our federal government is supposed to be looking out for us. And if you're not going to do it, who's going to? We are doomed if this continues. But listen to this whataboutism that the Democrats are playing and Fox News is posting up there. They're not saying that it's true, but they're asking the question, so let's hear it.
Yeah, we weren't able to ask questions, but essentially what we were told is there were multiple incursions over Florida, one over Texas, and then there's been separate reporting we haven't been able to ask about yet over Hawaii and Guam. So what were the extent of these incursions? Were they over the waters? Were they over our territory? And what did they collect? But I think the bigger issue is that in speaking to former National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, Rick Grenell over the DNI, John Radcliffe, and other senior officials, is they were never told by the Pentagon. They had no idea. They weren't given the option to take action then. Why is that? Were they undetectable and now we're figuring it out? Or did the Pentagon make a decision to not brief the Trump White House?
Yeah, why wouldn't they have notified the Donald Trump administration? Why didn't the military do that? Either it didn't happen and this is just whataboutism, trying to make it seem like it was okay, because they did exactly the same thing when it came to the classified documents. Classified documents were not okay when it was just Trump. Then it was kind of okay, accidents happen when it was Joe Biden. And then when Pence came out, it was like, you know what? Maybe we need some reforms. Okay? This is either it didn't happen, which I'm thinking it probably didn't happen, because if Donald Trump knew about this, he would have shot them down. I am pretty damn sure of that. What they're doing is they're looking for a scapegoat, a reason to make it okay for them to do what they did. But I don't think the American people are buying it. Are you buying it? I'm not buying it. I don't believe any of this. This looks to me like our government, the United States as a whole, including military, big business, everything, we have been taken over by the communists. We have been taken over. But we're not fighting this war with China. China is the only one fighting, and they're winning because we are not fighting back, because we are not taking it seriously. Why are we not taking it seriously? Because everybody that could do something about it, everybody who can say something about it, from the mainstream media to Hollywood to the military, every one of them are paid off. Every single one of them. I'm sure of it. Obviously, I can't prove it all, but look at Hollywood. Bought and paid for. Look at the last Red Dawn movie. China made sure that it wasn't China in there, because they didn't want to make themselves look bad at that point. But now the mask has been ripped off. We know exactly who the Chinese are, and they have stated very clearly that they want to knock the United States off of our pedestal. So why do we not take them seriously? Why do we allow our businesses to go over to China? We are funding our own takeover of the United States. How stupid are our politicians? How stupid are they? I don't think they're stupid. I think they're smart, but they're evil. And they will sell each and every one of you out for dollars and power. That's exactly what it is. Dollars and power. They believe that they will be at the top of the food chain when China takes us over. They are so highly mistaken. China doesn't give a shit about our politicians. And what difference does it make if you have all the money in the world if you're dead? If China takes us all out? I don't know what to say anymore. But there was some sort of an explosion over Montana. I don't know if you guys have seen that already. Nobody knows what it was. It was around at the same time that the balloon was going over Montana. You can see like a smoke trail going down or going up. Let's go ahead and show that and see if we can get any information on that.
I hate to pull random video off the internet and ask you to respond to it, but this is going around. It appears to be, it's on social media, video of an explosion over your state showing what looks like a smoke trail into the sky. We can't even guess as to what this is. Do you have any information about this?
Not at this point. I was notified of it just minutes before we came on the air. We're monitoring the situation. I'm talking to our National Guard to find out if they have additional information. I'm sure I'll be briefed here in the next hour.
Yeah, so if you guys know anything about what happened over there in Montana with that smoke trail, I don't know if it's going up or down, but it is obviously a smoke trail. It's something either exploded or was shot, something. If you guys know anything, let me know down in the comments. I'd be very interested to find out what you guys' opinions, or if you guys know something that I don't know about that. But we're just gonna have to keep an eye on this. These are very interesting times that we live in today, and I know we all feel hopeless, but there's always hope. And if I could give you guys any hope, remember, as I always tell you, if you are silent, you are invisible. Don't be silent. Don't be invisible. You have to stand up and do what you can do. I know some of us can start up a YouTube channel and get loud on YouTube and Rumble. I know you can do that. I know that, some of you have the ability to go out there and protest, and some of you just, you're disabled and you can't go out there and do that kind of stuff. And I understand, maybe you're elderly or you're disabled, whatever the case is, but you can make phone calls. You can call your congressman. You can call your senator. You can call people. Be loud. Let them know that we're not okay with this. We are not okay with China taking over the United States. We are not okay with ceding power to China. We're not okay with that. But you have to be loud. Don't be violent. I'm not saying be violent. I don't think that's necessary right now. But what I'm saying is that you have to. The only reason that Joe Biden shot that balloon down in the first place is because he was getting some major heat from the American people. Even the left wing press was out there, giving him a hard time until they got their talking points at 3 a.m. And then the next day they were like, oh, you know what? This happened under Trump too. Yeah, but the pressure mounted. And so we've got to be loud. We've got to be loud, because being quiet it means being invisible, and we can't do that. We cannot be invisible. That's how the left wins. That's how the communists win. They're a small group, but they're loud. They're extremely loud. We have to be at least match their level or beat their level. And look, like I said earlier, don't be violent, because if you think that you're going to get away with burning stuff down, you're just not. It's not the same scenario. It's not the same situation as what the Democrats pretty much run all of the cities where Antifa and BLM were tearing everything up, and they informed their police departments and everything like that to go easy on them. They're not going to allow the same thing to happen if a conservative was to go out there and protest. Look at January 6th. They're just not going to allow it to happen. So the best thing that you can do right now is just call your congressman. Call, even if it's not your congressman, call them. The heat doesn't have to necessarily come from within their own area, their own state, their own city. You can call the New York congressman. You can call the New York governor. You can blow them up. When they start feeling the heat, is when they start doing something about it. We all pay taxes in the federal government, and each and every single one of these states contribute to what this federal government ends up looking like. And everybody wants to keep their job. So if they feel like they're getting too much heat, you're going to see them back off. You're going to see them start stepping up and doing something. So that's the best advice that I can give some people right now. And look, I just keep going back to, when is our military going to step up? Millie cannot be the best that we have. Every single person that has joined the military, they have taken an oath, not to these politicians, but to the Constitution. And we need brave, and that's what it's going to take, bravery. We need brave individuals in the military to step up and say, look, this is an unconstitutional order. I am not going to do this. As a matter of fact, what you're doing is unconstitutional. Maybe you can arrest somebody. Maybe you have that authority or power. I don't know. You got to step up and do something because this can't continue. This cannot continue. And when I'm talking about the Chinese, spy plane, I'm not. When I say Chinese, I mean the CCP, because if you look at it, the Chinese people are underneath the thumb of the CCP, and they want out from underneath it. I'm on Getter right now, and I have gotten bombarded by people following me from China, and all they want to do is take down the CCP. And so I feel for them. So when I talk about the Chinese government, I'm not talking about the Chinese people. They are victims just like us and everybody else around the world. They are victims of the Chinese CCP. Okay, so we have to keep that in line there and keep our thoughts straight on that. But I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to keep an eye on this, and if there's any more breaking news on this, I'm going to bring this to you. But this is huge. This is huge. I could not believe what my eyes were seeing. I just couldn't believe it. So I want you guys to all watch your six and remember that the reason that we have not been taken over yet is because there is a gun behind every blade of grass in the United States. And that's why they have not come in here. And if we can keep our Second Amendment together, I know they're trying to rip that apart right now, but if we can keep our Second Amendment together, then there's always hope. There's always hope. Now remember, I do not stand behind violence. That is not where we're at right now. We are not in a civil war with ourselves right now. We are not fighting. The American people are not fighting China. You know what I mean? What we need is our federal government to fight China. We need our military to fight China. There's different ways to fight besides a kinetic war. And that's up to our federal government and up to our military to do. We just need them to step up, and it doesn't look like they are. Hopefully there's some things going on behind the scenes, but with this administration, I'm not going to hold out much hope. All I can hope for is that something happens and that Trump ends up back in that seat in the Oval Office, and we can right the ship of the United States and get the ship right back on track where it's supposed to be. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have not subscribed over there on Rumble, please do that. You will thank yourself for it because those videos won't be taken off. And I will see you folks on the next video. Bye-bye.